to go!
Okie dokie.
The Mario and Luigi series is my favorite series of games of all time. Each title is incredible in its own way to me. From Superstar Saga to Paper Jam, I had tons of fun the whole way through. And I know a lot of people feel the same way. So this got me thinking, if I had to use one word to describe the series, what would it be? At first, this seemed like an impossible question to answer. How could I describe this series that's so beloved to me and many others in just one word? Could a few syllables really do the game's justice? I racked my mind for an answer to this. Fun came up almost immediately, and while the games are most certainly fun, I felt like there was more to it than that. Many words came up that would apply to a few games in the series but leave others out, which was definitely not what I was going for. But then a word came to mind that not only described the series as a whole, but the elements within it. Consistent. The Mario and Luigi series is possibly the most consistently enjoyable series of games that I've ever had the pleasure of playing. And honestly, this means more than many people would think. For comparison's sake, let's look at the Paper Mario franchise. Could I call these games consistent? In quality, level of enjoyment, or any other factor? Absolutely not. These games are a complete roller coaster. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad, sometimes they're 3D, sometimes they're 2D, sometimes they have original and likable characters, sometimes toads. These games have no pattern. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with changing up a series' identity for a new entry. But the Paper Mario series tried to change its identity so much that it doesn't have much of an identity anymore. When I say the Mario and Luigi series is consistent, I don't just mean consistent in quality, but consistent in almost every other important factor as well. Let me give a quick rundown of some of the games in the series. Superstar Saga was the first game in the series and established the formula that the following 4 titles would also use. Wander the world with Mario and Luigi using their unique abilities to solve puzzles, beat bad guys, and save the day. Pretty simple concept, but simplicity can work if it's well executed. This game is incredible. Unique and lovable characters to interact with, new environments to explore, enjoyable and satisfying attacks to use within battle and outside of it, and an actual story. It's nothing huge, but it's way more satisfying than the regular, uh-oh, Bowser kidnapped the princess, go save her. Any sort of story in a Mario game is very much appreciated by me. So, what does the next game in the series do? Does it abandon the formula established by the first game and instead try to create a new identity for itself? Nope, not at all. Instead, it expands upon it. Mario and Luigi Partners in Time takes Superstar Saga, darkens the tone substantially, adds more complexity to the battle system, and introduces time travel and babies. What more could you want? This game also has a deeper story with actual foreshadowed twists that you, the player, get to figure out. It includes all this new stuff, but still feels like the sequel to Superstar Saga. Not because there's a huge prominent overarching story between the two titles, but because the series is consistent in terms of gameplay, comedy, quality, and overall style. We now get to move on to the third game in the series, Bowser's Inside Story, which is pretty much collectively agreed upon to be the best game in the franchise, and is my personal favorite game ever. This game allowed you to play as Bowser, which was just awesome. It also essentially had 2 different worlds to explore. The 3D Mushroom Kingdom, which for the most part is Bowser's territory, and the 2D Bowser's Insides, which is where you'll be playing as the Bros for the most part. Once again, even with all its crazy additions, this game still follows in the footsteps of Superstar Saga. Heck, its villain, Fawful, originated in Superstar Saga as a sidekick, could be found plotting underground in Partners in Time, and finally emerges as the main antagonist in this game. That's incredible. How often can you see a character evolution like this in a Nintendo series? Not very often. I don't see a need to go over Dream Team and Paper Jam, as it would essentially be very redundant, although Paper Jam most certainly takes a step back in the story department. The reason the Mario and Luigi series is so phenomenal, at least to me, is because of its consistency. Alpha Dream's dedication to make each game feel like an expansion of the last is truly admirable. Every title brings its own new ideas to the table without completely throwing out the old ones. Some would argue that this makes the series bland, that each game in a franchise should be completely built up from scratch mechanics-wise, but I have to disagree. Sorry to bring up your misfortune again, Paper Mario fans, but if you asked me to play Super Paper Mario after playing the original Paper Mario and Thousand Year Door without telling me what it was, I would have no reason to believe it was a Paper Mario game, besides the obvious paper-themed art style and Mario characters. The problem I have with a lot of games is that developers feel the need to hit the reset button every time they're making a new title, like it's sacrilege to reuse characters and gameplay concepts. The Mario and Luigi series prides itself in its familiar gameplay style and characters, and that's something I really enjoy. I like playing a game and being able to recognize a character that I saw 3 games ago. It creates a real sense of cohesion within the series and its world. I admire Alpha Dream for not only making the Mario and Luigi series consistent in terms of quality, but also in gameplay style, humor, charm, music, and just about everything else. It makes the series stand out more as a whole instead of as individual games. When I heard that Alpha Dream went bankrupt, my biggest fear wasn't that no more Mario and Luigi games were coming, although the thought of that is pretty scary, but that Nintendo would try to replicate its unique charm and fail. Sorry to bring up your misfortune a third time, Paper Mario fans, but I don't want what happened to your series to happen to the Mario and Luigi franchise. The only thing harder than never getting another game in your favorite series is seeing it be ruined with you powerless to stop it. Anyways guys, that's about it for this first video of the Mario and Luigi Marathon. What's your opinion on the series? What word would you use to describe it? Let me know in the comments below. Professor Pro, out.